It actually took a very tough beating to get me out of the sport.
By Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao. I mean, he beat the hell out of me. Manny Pacquiao would be right in front of me. He would, after hitting me 15 times, and then I would be ready to hit him, and he would be wide open, and I couldn't pull the trigger. I just couldn't pull the trigger.
Oscar, he does comeback. He's coming back.
Yeah, 40 seconds. Thank you.
The WBC title at 147.
Thank you so much.
I wish him all the best.
Quadra, I love him.
Can he do it?
Quadra?
Can he do it? Absolutely.
That's a Mexican brand.
Manny Pacquiao's
Oscar needs
he's a legend, you know.
Some nice ones. Thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think he can do it.
He's 46 years old and hasn't fought in almost 4 years. His last fight ended in a loss, and now he's stepping back into the ring. Not for an exhibition, but for a world title fight. On paper, Manny Pacquiao's return doesn't make sense. But if you followed boxing for a long time, you know Pacquiao was never just a name on paper. He's the storm in the late rounds, the blur of punches you never see coming. He built his legacy not by playing it safe, but by going beyond every expectation the sport had for him. Now he's facing Mario Barrios, 13 years younger and the current WBC welterweight champion, who is entering the prime of his career. Most fighters would avoid this matchup. Most retired legends wouldn't even consider it. But Pacquiao didn't just accept the fight. He wants the title. So when Oscar de la Hoya said Barrios should think twice, it wasn't trash talk. It was a warning. Because this isn't just a comeback. It's a challenge. And if history has taught us anything, it's this. Don't bet against Pacquiao when he's chasing something. When he announced his return, people didn't cheer. They were in shock. He hadn't fought since 2021. He was 46, deeply involved in politics, and most people thought his boxing career was over. Then came the news. July 19th, Las Vegas, WBC welterweight title. No warm-up fight, no exhibition, just a direct leap into the fire against a champion in his prime. For almost 4 years, boxing moved on without him. New contenders rose, belts changed hands, and the sport carried on. No press, no training footage, just family, public service, and silence. But behind that silence, he was still watching. Maybe the world mistook his stillness for retirement. Maybe they thought the storm had passed. The thing about Pacquiao is he never needed the spotlight to stay sharp. He never trained for the cameras. He trained because movement is in his blood. Even now, his hands are still fast, his eyes still focused, and his rhythm still surprises people. Every now and then, a short clip would appear, just 15 seconds, no quotes, no music. Only Pacquiao, alone, fully focused, like he never left. And suddenly, fans began to ask the question no one wanted to say out loud. What if he's not done? Then came whispers that turned into rumors, and finally the confirmation. He wasn't just watching, he was preparing for a fight. But this fight isn't about nostalgia. It's a final statement. Pacquiao already has more achievements than any fighter active today. 8 world titles in different divisions, Fighter of the Decade, and a Hall of Fame career already sealed long before he stepped away. And still, he's putting everything on the line again. Why? Because legacy doesn't sleep. One win over a reigning champion could change how we view age and greatness in boxing. The risk is real. No matter how legendary he is, time doesn't spare anyone. He'll enter that. Ring slower, maybe less durable, and definitely with less momentum. But if history has taught us anything, it's this. Pacquiao doesn't just survive when people count him out. That's when he shines. He's not coming back to prove anything to fans. He's coming back because in his mind, this isn't the end. It's an unfinished chapter he's ready to write one more time, under the bright lights of Las Vegas. Manny Pacquiao isn't just a legend. He's boxing mythology come to life. With 62 wins, 8 weight divisions, and 26 knockouts, he was never supposed to dominate featherweights, let alone welterweights. But over and over, Pacquiao defied logic, beating fighters like Barrera, Morales, Cotto, and Thurman with footwork so fast it looked unreal. Still, this isn't 2010, it's 2025, and reality doesn't care about legends. When Pacquiao last fought in 2021, he didn't look washed up, but he didn't look like Pacquiao either. Yordenis Ugas wasn't better. He was just younger, fresher, and sharper. That was enough. Pacquiao took the loss with grace, but it was clear his timing had faded and his reflexes had slowed. Now, 4 years later, can that same fighter return even stronger? Even the greatest slow down, Ali, Leonard, Roy Jones. Greatness doesn't beat the clock, it only delays it. Pacquiao's speed once made him untouchable, a blur too fast to follow. But now, the question isn't what he was. It's whether that speed still matters if his legs don't move like before. And it's not just physical, it's the rhythm, the instincts, the timing that only repetition can keep sharp. Ring rust isn't about stamina, it's about milliseconds, the difference between landing clean or getting caught after 4 years out of the ring doesn't just slow your reflexes, it changes how you move and react. Against someone like Barrios, who's younger, sharper, and in rhythm, this isn't a warm-up, it's a danger zone. But this is where the story could turn. Pacquiao has never depended on youth or pure strength. He wins with movement, angles, pressure, and chaos disguised as rhythm. He doesn't slug it out. He overwhelms you with volume, bursts, and feints you never see coming. If that instinct, that sixth sense for timing and space, is still there, then even at 46, he could be too much for a fighter like Barrios, who's never shared the ring with someone this unpredictable. Pacquiao doesn't need to be who he once was. He just needs to be sharp enough, smart enough, and relentless enough to make Barrios doubt himself for even one round. And in fights like this, one round is all it takes. Mario El Azteca. Barrios isn't stepping into this fight as a fill-in. He's the reigning WBC welterweight champion with 29 wins, just 2 losses, and the kind of discipline that makes him one of the most focused fighters in the division. At 30, he's in his prime, tall, rangy, with a stiff jab and the stamina for deep waters. He's not flashy, but he's efficient, breaking opponents down round by round, not by chasing knockouts, but by applying steady pressure, smart footwork, and calculated aggression. Since moving up to welterweight, he's looked sharper, more composed, and much more patient. The wild, sometimes reckless puncher from his super lightweight days has turned into a calm and methodical tactician. Right now, he's fighting like someone who knows exactly where he is and exactly where he wants to go. But this challenge is unlike anything Barrios has faced before. He's not fighting a typical welterweight. He's facing controlled chaos. Pacquiao doesn't move like anyone else in the division. 1 second, one moment he's in front of you. The next he's circling to your blind side, unloading a 5-punch combo from an angle you didn't think was possible. That's what makes this fight dangerous. Barrios has never faced this kind of pressure, this kind of timing, this kind of unpredictability. Especially from a fighter who has nothing left to prove, but everything left to take. But Barrios isn't going in blind. He understands how big this moment is. He's called the fight an honor, but he's not stepping into the ring to pay tribute. He's stepping in to win. Because beating Pacquiao doesn't just mean keeping his belt, it means putting his name into boxing's bigger conversation. It's how a champion becomes a star. Mario Barrios has youth, power, and momentum, but all of that only matters if he can survive what's coming. Because now, he has to walk through fire and prove he belongs in the same sentence as Manny Pacquiao. And few people know what that fire feels like better than Oscar de la Hoya. In 2008, de la Hoya stepped into the ring as the bigger, favored, and more decorated man, a 6-division world champion expected to dominate. Instead, he sat on the far stool, broken and silent, unable to continue. Pacquiao didn't just beat him, he dismantled him, systematically and without mercy. So when De La Hoya tells Barrios to think twice, it's not trash talk. It's experience. It's the voice of someone who knows what it's like to underestimate a man fighting with no pressure, no fear, and nothing to lose. And De La Hoya isn't the only one raising a flag. Veterans, analysts, and trainers are all saying the same thing. This fight may look winnable for Barrios, but it feels like a trap. Pacquiao doesn't train like a man nearing 50. He trains like a contender. He doesn't enter the ring trying to survive. He thinks like a predator. And if his legs hold up for even 6 or 7 rounds, Barrios could find himself caught in a storm he's never seen before. Then, there's the mental side. Barrios may be the defending champion, but all eyes are on Pacquiao. This isn't just a title defense, it's a legacy test, and legacy fights bring a kind of pressure that no sparring session can prepare you for. The crowd will favor Pacquiao. The media will favor Pacquiao. The energy in the arena will lean toward Pacquiao. And in those moments, when everything feels just a bit heavier, hesitation can creep in. Even Barrios' own team isn't underestimating Pacquiao. They've made it clear. He's preparing for war, not a farewell tour. Because deep down, they know that if Pacquiao shows up at even 70% of what he used to be, this won't be a routine defense. It'll be about survival. When legends step in with nothing to lose and everything to prove, the script tends to flip in ways no one sees coming. That's not hype. That's the voice of experience, coming from people who know what it feels like to face a fighter the world thought was finished. Inside Pacquiao's camp, the energy isn't nostalgic. It's focused. No one's pretending this is the same man who destroyed Margarito or outboxed Thurman. But they're not living in the past. They're building a version of Pacquiao that trades speed for precision, chaos for control. His longtime trainer, Boy Fernandez, has made it clear, we're not here for a payday, we're here to win. They've studied Barrios' rhythm, broken down his jab, and mapped out his patterns. The game plan is simple. Break his tempo, force him to reset, and target the long torso with sharp, clean combinations Pacquiao still throws better than most. This isn't about dominating all 12 rounds. It's about smart bursts, well-timed traps, and footwork that unbalances rather than overwhelms. Pacquiao isn't sparring for nostalgia. He's training with younger, taller partners who mimic Barrios' size and style. He's not trying to relive his past. He's preparing to face the present. The focus now isn't just on speed, it's on timing, conditioning, and picking the right shots. He knows he won't win every round, and he doesn't have to. He just needs to land the right punches at the right moments in front of the right judges. Fernandez has answered the critics directly. They think Manny is done, they're wrong. We're not doing this for fun. We're doing this for history. That alone tells you what kind of fight they expect and what kind of statement they want to make. They're not chasing perfection. They're chasing one clean win. And in a sport where one round can shift the entire scorecard, Pacquiao's team believes he still has 3 or 4 great ones left. When news broke that Pacquiao was returning to the ring, the internet lit up. Twitter, YouTube, forums. Everyone had something to say. Some fans were thrilled, others shocked, and many genuinely worried. Pacquiao's global fan base, especially in the Philippines, immediately rallied around him, calling it one last push for greatness. But critics didn't take long to jump. In calling the move reckless, too old, too risky, Barrios isn't a part-time opponent. The reaction split fast, and that divide between belief and doubt is what makes this fight so magnetic. It's rare for a comeback to get this much buzz without a press conference meltdown or fake drama. No trash talk, no chairs flying, just a clean, dangerous fight between a legend chasing one last crown and a champion trying to claim his era. And the boxing world feels it. Hardcore fans are breaking down every training clip, and casual fans who haven't watched in years are circling July 19th. Because whether you think Pacquiao wins or gets dropped in the 4th, you're watching. That's the power of Pacquiao. He brings hope, nostalgia, and danger all at once. And Barrios knows the crowd won't be neutral. He's not just fighting a man, he's fighting a moment. If Pacquiao pulls it off, if he beats Mario Barrios, this isn't just a comeback, it's a shockwave. He wouldn't just be back, he'd become the oldest fighter to ever win the WBC welterweight title. A 46-year-old champion in a division made to crush young contenders. Comebacks in boxing aren't rare, but they're usually exhibitions, not real title fights. Pacquiao isn't chasing nostalgia. He's chasing a belt. And if he wins, the whole welterweight picture changes. So what happens if Pacquiao wins? The rankings get messy. Barrios, the newly crowned champ, would lose his belt to a semi-retired icon. Contenders like Boots Ennis, Virgil Ortiz Jr., even Crawford and Spence, fans would start demanding their shot. Pacquiao might have to defend. This wouldn't be a one-night comeback. It would be the start of a full campaign. And then there's the narrative. A win could spark talk of unfinished business, a Ugas rematch, maybe even whispers of Mayweather 2. The marketing would explode, because the only way to follow a comeback like this is with another historic fight. But let's be clear, this isn't just about belts or ticket sales. If Pacquiao wins, it sends a message to every fighter over 35 who's been told they're done. It proves experience, skill, and heart can still change the story. More than anything, it's legacy. He's already a Hall of Famer, already a global icon. But a win here doesn't just add to his record, it changes what we think is possible. We talk about Brady winning late, LeBron aging like wine. But this would be boxing's ultimate age-defying moment. That's the dream. But the risk is real. If everything lines up on July 19th, Pacquiao won't just win a fight, he'll take back time and carve his name even deeper into boxing history. So should Barrios be